Hey, Molly.
Hi, Sandra.
Thanks for being here with me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, to get started, why don't we just talk a little bit about you? You can tell everybody, what you do, your business name, all the things first.
Sweet. I'm Molly Hebda, and I am in Lamont, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago in Illinois. And I have a studio here in Lamont. It's a historic district, and I do personal branding and personal branding photos and headshots for clients with small businesses, mainly for women. And obviously during COVID, I kind of do a little bit of everything. So
Right.
this, you kind of have to just, say yes sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. And how long have you been in business?
Just over 4 years.
Oh, okay, great.
So yeah, I'm going to my fifth.
So, you joined the first ever cohort that I did of the Six Figure Studio. And for those of you who don't know, we ran that first cohort was we started in June. So it was kind of right in the middle of quarantine for a lot of people, right? Kind of, as we were all readjusting to what it meant to run our businesses during the pandemic. And you were part of the group that chose to meet those challenges by really kind of leaning into your business and doing the work in your business, right?
Yeah, it came
So,
at the exact right time.
well, okay, so that's what I want to talk to you about because I want to know, first of all, how did you hear about the Six Figure Studio? And then what made you feel at that time, especially, where it was like things were so up in the air and kind of tumultuous, what made you feel like this was the right program for you to invest in at that time?
Well, I found you, I can't even remember how long ago it was, but there was probably an ad or something that popped up that said, come join, learn about,
Like,
lighting or
yeah.
natural lighting. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want to learn about natural lighting. So I purchased the Missing Link course a while back
Which
and
is my
have,
lighting course for those.
yes,
Yeah.
the lighting course, which was excellent. Like, I loved your teaching style. I loved just the way that you spoke, the way that you just were crystal clear on things and no fluff or anything like that. So that was excellent. So then it within that group, just kind of, milling about, following along. You mentioned that you were going to be doing this course, and I took over MySpace March 1st
Oh, wow.
with I had a graphic designer that we shared this space, and she told me at the beginning of the year that she was leaving, and that was like our 1 year anniversary that she was out. So March 1st, I took over the studio, redid the studio, painted, like just took it over, like made it amazing, and boom, it just hit. So we had to stop. I had to, stop all sessions and everything like that, questioning like what was going on with life. And in June or in May, when you came out with this, I wasn't sure if like maybe this would fit with what I do, because I do branding and headshots, but I also do boudoir, just all the women things. And you wrote me back right away. I was like waiting for you to say, respond to my email, and you responded exactly what I needed to hear. And so I said, yeah, let's do it. And
I
while
don't
we were
even
in,
remember that email. Isn't that funny?
no, you don't. Yeah, you said all the right things. It was good. You answered my questions in a timely fashion. And I was like, all right, this is the person that I can just, learn from and take this time and really hone in on my business when I'm not quite sure what's happening with my business.
I mean, I feel like that's such an act of bravery because you had just started, you just opened, you just started, and literally the bottom just dropped out of
Yeah.
everything. And so for you to be like, I mean, I really applaud you for instead of, freaking out and getting scared, you just really kind of leaned into like, nope, I'm going to use this time to work on my business and get better at my business. Like, walk us through that mindset a little bit because I think that's kind of amazing.
That what you reiterated with like during the course is like, you don't just shut down and be quiet. You have to just push through and learn and, revamp or look at where you're coming from and really figure it out while we're having that downtime. And that really spoke to me. And I mean, looking at my books before our call, June, I had $200 that came through in my account. And July, I had over 6 grand.
Wow.
So like it just,
So you made that money back right away.
it made me refocus. It made me look at my, what I was saying in my business, what I was about, what I was doing. And it gave me the confidence to move forward with some really big clients.
Oh my gosh, Molly, I had no idea. That's huge.
It's huge.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love hearing that. So I'm looking at my notes here because I want to make sure. So did you, okay. I want to know how you did that. Like specifically what you feel like you got from the program or you learned from the program that enabled you to do that so quickly. That's amazing. But first, I also want to know, like, given the situation, given the circumstances that you were in when you signed up, did you have any reservations about the program and joining the program?
Absolutely. I mean, when I looking at my bank account, like there was nothing.
Yeah.
So, but I always feel like you have to invest in yourself no matter where you are. I felt like this was the perfect time for me to focus on it. And I knew that any kind of work that I would do on myself, I would get that back.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it was just, like the money that we put in for the course, if I would get that back in the next 3 months, I'd be happy. But I've definitely gone well over that. So
Like by a lot.
it was a huge, great investment. It was one of the best ones. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Okay, so what specifically do you feel like were like your biggest takeaways or that you learned that you were like, this was just exactly what I needed to hear? Like paint the picture, like where were you before? What did you learn doing? And what was it that allowed you to get those results right away? Because I mean, to go from 200 to 6,000 in a month in a middle of a pandemic, that's huge.
And my months after that were excellent as well. So like, it's not just a, like, oh,
Like a
one-off kind of
fluke.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not all that great, but yes, they're all definitely, I'm doing okay. So before this, especially during, the lockdown and everything, even before the lockdown, I've always, wanted to like hone in and exactly, everybody says to niche down and things like that. But it wasn't necessarily just niching down. It was really honing in and figuring out exactly what you do and why you do it, just like you said. And your 3 steps, like the 3 months, like planning that out with
The clarity, communication,
getting the clarity was huge for me. I mean, even though I've done like the work before, with who is your ideal client, what do they do, what does their life look like, all of that kind of stuff, I did that before, but it was really more internalizing and finding out exactly what I do and why I do it. So that was huge. And then just getting that communication to figure out, okay, what are we going to say to people and how are we going to say it? And then the clarity, that's what I'm still honing in on, or not the clarity, the consistency. The consistency is the thing that I'm going back to and trying to work on and really trying to get that, as a habit for myself on all of those levels that we talk about. And I think it was just so simple with those 3 steps and the things that were under each of those 3 steps to really just get all of the junk out, not focus on all those things that don't really matter and focus on really what does matter and what's going to speak to your ideal client, make you feel confident in saying those things and then putting that stuff out there on a regular basis.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. Right? Like get rid of all the noise and focus on the stuff that actually works, those revenue generating activities that actually work. And I spoke a while ago to Jason, who also was in our cohort, and he said the same thing. He's like, on the outside, the framework seems so simple, and it is, but that doesn't mean that it's, simple doesn't necessarily mean that it's not, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I was just gonna say like easy. I was trying to find like it's a lot of work. It's like the concepts are simple, but like diving in and doing the work can actually be really challenging. But what I love about this system because, I've used this, this is the system I created for myself,
Mhm.
right? Which is why I know it works. And what I love about it is that it is simple, but it does require like going deep. Like I always tell people, it's like therapy a little bit, like getting in
It
and
really
just
was.
really, yeah, like really getting in. But the other great thing is that it's rinse and repeat. Like once you do the hard work and you know the steps and you then have the systems, then you just keep it going. And that's why I'm so excited, like to hear your story and for you, because what I know on this end of it, right? Like, because I'm 20 plus years into this, is if you've had those results this quickly straight away, it's only going to build from there. And it's so
Yeah.
exciting to watch.
Yay!
Yay!
Let's do more of that.
Let's do. So, what were your biggest takeaways? I mean, I guess you answered that a little bit, but your biggest takeaways from the program, what do you think you're going to take with you going forward? And what advice would you have for somebody who's looking at joining, but isn't quite sure if it's the right step for them?
I think the biggest takeaways were, um, oh man, there's just so many takeaways. But the one thing that really I've seen like instantly overnight has changed is the CPRs, where you have a system, not only just how you input people into, having photographs taken, but the systems of, you have a process of what you say to them beforehand. You have a process of what you do in each photo shoot and then how you follow up with it. So it kind of took all of the worry out and the nervousness out of doing sales and things like that, because like this is what I do. So I'm just going to do this every single time so I don't forget and I don't do something different with everybody that comes in. And that has been like almost like a weight lifted off my shoulder, where I didn't have to like really think about every time I went in with a client. And obviously, like this is still a work in progress, and I'm still learning how to do this and really honing in on exactly what I want to do for each client. But that, I don't know why I didn't think about that kind of stuff before, but like it was a huge help.
Again, it's like what these so simple, right?
Yes.
It seems so simple. It seems like a no-brainer, but also challenging. But
Yeah.
it's true, like it's done the same for me. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching it, because once you get those consistent, predictable routines down
Yeah.
and doing them, it just becomes like muscle memory. And it just makes everything so much easier, especially I think sales.
Yeah.
Like which you've taken that lesson on sales and CPRs and just really run with it. Like what you've done in your sales, especially how to get sales from your clients, online from a safe social distance with all this stuff going on right now. I mean, you taught me stuff. Like I was like, that's really good, Molly.
Oh, good to hear. No, it was it really, because I don't know, it's when it comes to sales, like I can sell anything from somebody else. Like I can sell,
I
like
know, right?
you
Same.
sell your stuff, I'll sell your stuff. But when it's your own, then it's really hard. But then if you have a system, like even before this, like when I wrote down, like, I'm not going to go out of my business for a photo shoot for less than X amount of dollars. And then once I actually wrote that down, it was so much easier to say. But now that I have like systems for, what do I say on a phone call when somebody calls for a lead? Or what am I going to do for my sales system? Like as soon as we're done with a photo shoot, how do I end that? And how do I make that comfortable for a client to make it easier for them to leave and feel like they've been taken care of?
Yeah, I
So
love
it's
it.
just, it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm going to check in with you next year and see where this goes, because what I think is so great, maybe we should touch on this too, is that you've done all this in the middle of the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, have you thought about that? Like, okay, so if you can do this now with these crazy times and these restrictions, like, what is it going to be like when you don't have to worry about all that stuff
Yeah.
anymore?
But I do have to say one thing about that was huge during this time as well, as taking that time out, because I mean, obviously everybody's stressed.
Yeah.
The stress on everybody in the world. And when it comes down to small businesses, it's even more stress. And, the things that it's happened to my family, not even just my business, but my husband and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I was able to decide to do this for myself and take the time, I actually felt like I had some kind of control over what I was doing in my life.
Mhm.
So it took a little bit of that worry out because you know what, that's going on, but right now I'm focused on this, and it's not like you have blinders on and you know what's happening in the world, but these are things that I can control in my life. And it felt good.
I love that. It's so good. So good. Okay. One piece of advice that you would give to someone considering the program,
Um, I would
or
definitely
two. You could, okay. We'll say one or two. How's that?
one, I would definitely say if you are in a place where you want to really hone in on exactly what you want to do with your business and actually grow and have some kind of handle on it, I would definitely dive in and do this. I would recommend this to anybody. And the second is do the work. I mean, yes, it's a simple system, but you really do have to take some time for yourself to sit down and do the homework and really think about the things and really be able to, like what we were saying with like our profiles or the portfolios, to like really edit down and really hone in on exactly what you want to do
On what you do and who you serve.
and who
And
you
that's what it really boils down to, right?
Yeah, it really does. It's that simple. But yes, there is a lot of legwork that you need to do. And you
Well,
really
and
just,
it's nice to have the program too, because it guides you through that legwork, right? So it's
oh
not
my
just
gosh,
like
the one on,
figure
yeah,
it out, but right.
group coaching that you gave, because I am part of a couple other programs and I've been through one from the beginning, and I absolutely love the information that they give and things like that. But having the group coaching was just a huge level up because it made you accountable for what you were doing for each week. And maybe you didn't get everything done that week, but you knew that you have to finish it. But then now we're going to focus on this next portion of it. So that was huge. That is probably one of the biggest takeaways of getting that. Like not everybody does that for education. So that's one thing that you have that other people don't have.
Well, and that piece is really important to me too, because when I decided I was going to teach this program, what I didn't want was just another class that people buy and never get through and never get results from.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what I didn't want. And like, I never want that in any of my courses, like even the missing link, it's very, succinct and digestible, and it's meant to move people through quickly and get results. And so with the big topic, especially when we get into the communication piece, which is all about messaging and marketing, I know that that's stuff that scares people. And so my goal was to figure out how to present it in a way that is actionable, right? That people can take these little tiny steps 1 week at a time that build upon each other to get huge results.
Yeah.
And I knew right away, I was like, well, I'm going to have to hold people's feet to the fire. I mean, that's why I designed it the way I did. That's why I designed it with the coaching calls. That's why I designed it to be done in 30 days. It's like, I don't want to give you 4 years potentially, or whatever lifetime access to get through this, because you won't do it. I mean that out of love.
When you do it, you get results right away. You don't
Yeah.
have to wait 4 years for it. Like I
No.
literally saw it within the first few weeks of doing it. So, and it continues to build on it, even though it's, almost 3 months after taking the course. I still go back to all of the things that we did. And then when I get off course, when I'm busy with my, clients and things like that, and I'm like, oh, what do I do now? I just go back. All right, where do I start? Where have I left off?
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Yay. Yay. You're exactly why I wanted to teach this class, because it's so inspiring.
I'm so happy that I took it. So yeah, definitely take this class, whoever's listening.
It's actually, and also like, it's a super fun community, right? Like we have a great group of people.
The people that we've met in that first course, like I didn't get to go on the call today, but we meet weekly still for this. And it's been huge just to be able to have more connections with people and we've been through the same kind of program. So then we have the same kind of questions, and, you know, we have the same language to speak about it as well. So it's very helpful.
I love it. I know you guys are so great. I love that you guys still meet on your own. I kind of miss it.
You're going to have to pop in every once in a while.
I mean, maybe I will. Well, Molly, I don't want to keep you all day. I know you're super busy because you have your mini sessions and all that stuff to do. So I will let you go. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on and answering questions. I know that other people who are maybe thinking about the course or are on the fence are really going to find a lot of value in what you had to say. And so I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Sure. Absolutely. And just really quick, if somebody wants to follow along and see your work and see your progress, where's the best place that somebody can find you?
I'm on Instagram at motioninspired.com, or Motion Inspired Photography. Sorry.
That's okay. I'll tag it. I'll link it underneath the video so people can go see your gorgeous work. It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day, woman.
You too. Bye, Sandra.
Bye.